guys today with a get ready with me video. I'm featuring my Lancome 24-hour Teint Idole Ultra Foundation in the video. Also, I did not say what lippy I had on, but this is actually Ruby Woo by MAC, and then I just went on top of that with my NYX soft lip cream in the shade Transylvania. And then also I'm having a bad hair day, so I just threw a hat on as well, so disregard the hat. But yeah, if you ladies want to see how I get my everyday foundation routine, stay tuned to the video. Okay ladies, so since this video is a get ready with me video focusing mainly on the foundation that I'm using, I already did my eyebrows and applied false eyelashes off camera. And yeah, so the first thing that I'm going to do is start by moisturizing my face. Okay, so the next step that I do is going to be priming my face. I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. And I take a little bit of this. A little bit definitely goes a long way, and this primer is really, really good. So basically the start of this get ready with me is my Lancome 24-hour Teint Idole Ultra Foundation. I purchased this in the shade 550 Suede. I originally went to the Lancome stand thinking I was a 540. Luckily they were out of the shade 540, so I just asked her to give me a sample of the 550. I went home, used it for a few days, and I fell in love with this foundation. This foundation has a very, very beautiful application, a very beautiful finish. It is a matte foundation. It's not dewy like my NARS foundation is. It's a very matte finish. It's a dead-on match for me. I really, really like this shade. It's maybe like a little bit teeny weeny too dark, but it's okay because once I highlight my face, it all comes together. So this foundation does come with a pump. I believe it was around around $48. So it's a little bit on the higher end, but it's still, you know, not as high as some foundations are. So what I do is I go in with my Morphe 439 brush. It's just a really dense buffer brush, and I will spray that first with my Makeup Forever Mist and Fit spray. So I just spray my brush with that, and I take a pump of the foundation just to start on the back of my hand. I don't necessarily use more than a pump, but sometimes I will, so we'll see. Okay, and then I just go in and I start by pressing that into my skin. So I don't go right in and buff it in, I just go in like a pressing motion. Then once it's pressed in, I'll go and buff it in a little bit, but at the end, once I apply the foundation all over my face, I'm gonna buff everything in. I'm gonna have to go in with one more pump, again just on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna use this for the rest of my face. And what I try to do when applying my foundation, because I highlight my eyebrows when I'm cleaning them up, or when I'm cleaning my eyebrows up, I'll go in with concealer. So I try to take my brush and try to blend out that concealer with foundation on the brush, so I don't have that halo effect over my eyebrows. My foundation is on, the next thing I'm going to do is to highlight my face or conceal under my eyes, on my chin, down the bridge of my nose. So my all-time favorite concealer of life has to be the LA Girl Pro Conceal HD Definition or HD Concealer in the shade Fawn. Originally, when I did like under eye highlighting and concealing, I would go as far up underneath my eye as possible. I don't do that anymore because I found that adds too much product underneath my waterline. So I take it down right here on my face. Still going in like that upside triangle motion, but I don't focus that concealer far up under my waterline as I usually did, or as I did before. I have a larger forehead as well. So I don't necessarily want to accentuate that, so I don't add concealer directly to my forehead, to the middle of my forehead. I'll just use whatever's left on this sponge. So I just go out and blend it out. Go in and blend it out. So I started first with patting motions again, just focusing the concealer in that area itself. And then I'll start to take that concealer out, up along my cheekbone, and then up underneath my eye. So I blend up, so I have less product underneath my eye, but it's still highlighting it. My beauty blender sponge, it isn't damp. I didn't spray anything on it. I used to damp it as well before, but I just found that picks up too much product. And to each his own. I know a lot of ladies do use it damp, but I don't like using a damp beauty blender with my concealer. And then, as you see, I didn't pick up any more product. I'm just taking that right into the center of my forehead, whatever product is on my beauty blender, and dabbing that onto the center of my forehead, like so. And so that's that. Another great tip that I do, because sometimes the concealer, you can see it's like a line of demarcation, I'll just go back in with my foundation brush, not picking up any extra foundation, and I'll just blend along that line. So you end up with that. What I'm going to go in with right away is to set my under eye concealer so that it will not crease. And so what I use for that is my Sascha Buttercup setting powder. Love this powder. I've talked about it before in other videos. I really do love that powder. And I'll go in with a Real Technique sponge next. This has a flat side, so it helps to press that powder underneath my eye, and it has a pointy side so I can get into like the creases as well. While that's setting, baking, cooking, whatever y'all call it, what I'm gonna go in with next is some very, very light contouring. Very light, like really light. It's not a step that I like to skip, because I feel like at the end it ties everything together, but it's really, really, really basic or light contouring. I'm using my 3D Face Creator by Ruby Kisses in the shade level 16. I believe it's one of the darkest shades that they have, and I'm using the darkest shade in the palette, or in the compact. And I'm going in with a Real Technique blending brush, and I'm going to take that cream concealer and dab it onto that brush. So going right in with that, and I just focus it right on my natural contour. Right where that natural contour is, I just sweep that concealer there. And if you see, I'm kind of taking it in a U type, or like a crescent type shape. I'm not taking it straight down at an angle. I'm kind of curving it up to carve out my cheekbone. Don't think about it too much, too much, too much, too much. Then I'm actually using, to set that contour, my Turks and Caicos contouring blush and bronzing powder duo by e.l.f. using the darkest shade in there. And I'm gonna set that contour line with that bronzing powder. What I would do next really is to go in and brush off all of this excess powder. What I use for that is my matte mineralized skin finish in the shade Deep Dark in my e.l.f. powder brush. Love this brush. Used to use it for foundation. No one uses this brush for foundation, but I do use it for my powder and taking off this Buttercup powder. I'll just go in over my face, sweep that powder from under my eyes, And set the rest of my face with it as well. Blush next. I don't wear blush every day, but for the sake of the video, the blush I'm using is by Wet n Wild in the color Berry Shimmer. It's broken, but it's a really cute berry color. I really like how it looks. I'm gonna just add some color back to my face. So I take this along my jawline. I don't really focus it on my cheeks, just a little bit, but I more so focus it on my jawline back into my hairline this way. I'm going to do is apply a highlighter. This is going to be with my Becca highlighter in the shade Opal, and I'm using a Sephora Flawless Light Powder Brush number 50. So blend it all together because I don't want a hard line. I'm just going in with that powder brush again by e.l.f. Okay, so I take a little bit of that again on the very tip of my nose and then right along my nose, like the bridge of my nose there. And from there, what I go ahead and do is just set my face with my Makeup Forever Mist and Fit spray. And that's it.